what's up YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 cent video for this week where I take a look at some of the stories and give you my thoughts and my opinion about them. So why don't we get started with the first one, and that is the announcement of Road Redemption coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, some of you maybe remember this one. This was a couple years ago. They did a Kickstarter for Road Redemption though, and it was announced for, I think at the time, the PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, PC, and Mac. And sort of the game, I think, was successful in its Kickstarter, but we didn't hear much about it. It's some back and forth on it though. Well, apparently this week, it appears as though it's coming not only to console, but it looks like it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. According to an article from Nintendo Life and also comicbook.com, it says, quote, "If you happen to be missing a certain rash on the road and happen to be a Switch owner," obviously referring to the classic racy game Road Rash, though, "this news will certainly make you grin. The once Wii U bound Road Redemption is making a natural jump on Nintendo Switch, according to a recent Twitter reply by the developers Pixel Studio, though, in which they applied, quote, they were answering a question when someone asked about the possibility of a Nintendo Switch port, saying, "You're in luck, a Switch version is definitely in the works, so stay tuned." The game has been under active development since its original 2017 release on Steam and has been garnering steady positive feedback from fans ever since. We hope Shovel Knights and the 4-player local split-up mode survives the transition. In case you're wondering though, on Metacritic, the game sits at a 71 based on the critics' reviews, but according to user reviews, it sits at a 7.5, and on the Steam page, though, according to this, it sits at, let me get to this customer review part, okay, out of the 3,452 reviews on the Steam page so far, it ranks very positive, while the recent reviews, which has 30, sits at a mostly positive. This is, quote, based on the page on the Steam page though. Personally though, I'm very happy the game is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I remember hearing about it when it was originally announced. This was when people thought EA pretty much abandoned Road Rash, which, given where EA right now is, with the whole stuff. And it was certainly a game that interests me. That a little bit of a disclosure though, I did back this when it was originally announced. So to hear that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch is a very nice addition, and I do hope we hear more about it at E3 this year. So hopefully we'll hear more about Road Redemption, but overall, very happy that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Hopefully we'll see how well the game runs on the Switch, not to mention also on PS4 and Xbox One. Hopefully it will run well, and hopefully all the content that was in the Steam or PC and Mac version makes it onto the Nintendo Switch as well. So overall, great that Road Redemption is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to part 2 of our story of our My 2 cent, my bad. And this one's going to be about basically the big Pokemon announcement. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our My 2 cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at supposedly the big announcement that possibly Pokemon fans have been waiting to hear, although there has been some mixed response to it. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not really a big Pokemon fan. I never really got into the series. That said, I won't deny its popularity and its success, and I won't deny the fact that that game, along with Smash Brothers, do sell systems though. And there are people out there that will buy will buy a system just to play one game. As crazy as that may be, there are people that will do that. Well, earlier this week though, apparently Nintendo and Game Freak, the folks behind the Pokemon series, announced the next entry in the Pokemon series, which to me is kind of a bit of a surprise that they would announce it right now, and I thought they would save this for E3, but nevertheless they did. So apparently, according to them, they announced Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. E-E-V-E-E. Apologize if I'm saying the name incorrectly though. It says, quote, "Today Nintendo announced Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee due for a worldwide release on the 16th of November. These games will take players back to the Kanto, K-A-N-T-O region for the new adventure that says that the developers are saying is being built on the formula of Pokemon Yellow and will feature only the original 151 Pokemons, though." And according to everything they know so far, though, they point out that it's worth pointing out that this isn't the new core Pokemon game that Nintendo teased at E3 last year. It's according to Nintendo Life, they're saying that RPG is still in development and will launch in 2019. These are two brand new entries in the franchise aimed to help ease in new players to the franchise, particularly those who only played Pokemon Go. The question was asked, is this a remake of Pokemon Yellow? It says it's more of a reimagining based on Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition. It's set in a Kanto region, I apologize if I'm saying the name incorrectly, and features just the first generations of Pokemon. It plays differently, and it has a different plot. Another question asks, how does Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee play? Again, apologize if I'm not saying that name correctly. You play with a single Joy-Con holding it like a Wii remote. You use the analog sticks and button to move your character around, select attacks for your Pokemon in combat, and interact with the world. Catching Pokemon acts similar to how it does in Pokemon Go, though. You use motion controls to chuck a Pokeball at a Pokemon to hopefully catch it, and a target relic tracks how good your aim is. That does mean you don't battle Pokemons to catch them in this installment, though. You will gain XP for each time you catch a Pokemon. Aside from this is a Pokemon adventure, as you know and love. You'll catch Pokemon, battle other trainees, explore a world, and visit cities. Better yet, though, you could play with a friend in couch co-op using just a single pair of Joy-Cons and tie into Pokemon Go. So it does sound like there is going to still be a single player mode, but there is a couch co-op in it as well. What's the difference between the two versions? The version you will select will determine your starting Pokemon out of each Pikachu or Eevee. Again, I apologize if I'm saying the name wrong. As in traditional Pokemon's games, you will also encounter different Pokemons in each game. That means you'll have to trade with others if you want to catch them all. Can I still play in handheld mode? Yes, you still use the gyroscope to aim the Pokeball, but you'll press a button to actually throw it. That way you don't have to shake your Switch about and accidentally drop it. Alternatively, you could set your Switch up on a stand and play it exactly like you would on a TV. It asks about you can play with the friend's couch co-op. It says that's right. It only takes a pair of Joy-Cons to get it set up. Another player simply has to wiggle the second Joy-Con while it connects to the console to join the fun. You could throw Pokeballs together to catch Pokemons, presumably increase your chance of catching them, and battle as a team against other trainers in the world. While it's not clear right now how or if you could transfer your own characters and Pokemon into another player's game. Hopefully Nintendo will provide more information on that soon. And it does point out, though, that you can connect with other players locally or over Wi-Fi and compete in non-ranked battles. Presumably you could trade your Pokemons as well. As what if it ties? How does it tie into Pokemon Go? It says Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee plays as a standalone adventure, but also tie into Pokemon Go. You can transfer Pokemons you capture in Pokemon Go to the Let's Go game, but not vice versa. And you can send gifts to other players. These features work over Bluetooth. As Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee only features first generation of Pokemon, you can only transfer any other generation Pokemon you capture in Pokemon Go. You can transfer shiny Pokemons, but not event Pokemons. You know, the ones wearing the cute hats. It also show off that Pokeball Plus peripherals. It basically says though, the Pokeball Plus peripheral basically serves in place of a single Joy-Con. There is a joystick you can use to control your character and a button on top to perform action. Even has motion controls of the Joy-Con, allowing you to pretend it's throwing like a real Pokeball. So in other words, it sounds like it acts like another. Basically, they're saying, if what they're saying in this article is correct, it acts as another Joy-Con controller. Excuse me. Our favorite feature has to be the LED just behind the joystick that mimics the on-screen Pokeball, lighting up whenever you catch a Pokemon. It also vibrates and includes a speaker that can play cute sounds. Curiously, you can even bring it with you when you leave the house to take your Pokemon for a walk, shaking it at any point while out and about, and your Pokemon will talk to you. That might be a little annoying to some people. We're not sure if there will be any gaming benefit for this, but it's a nice, if a little weird feature nonetheless. It also serves as a Pokemon Go Plus 2, so if the watch isn't your fancy, you now have another option though. And it basically points out, you know, of course, they're aiming for a November 16, 2018 launch date. So far, the response has been kind of mixed for some people, as some people aren't exactly liking this or anything like that. Personally, though, it's nice that they're starting this off. Interesting to start this off as the first Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. But I do have some questions, though. I mean, I'm glad that they add the option of a couch co-op. That's kind of nice, but I'm a little curious to see, can you still enjoy this game as a single player? I'm pretty sure you will, but that is sort of a question that needs to be asked. And also, how would this, do you have to use just the one Joy-Con though? Can you use like a Pro controller? Do you have to use the motion controls, or can you turn the motion controls off, to be exact? So I'm a little iffy about the whole, you know, using the motion controls, especially after what happened with Star Fox Zero and how they forced the motion controls into that game, to be exact. So I'm a little bit iffy about it, but it is, I will say, even though I'm not a big Pokemon fan, I will say this looks kind of interesting. It's one I will keep an eye out on. We'll probably maybe hear a bit more information at E3. Though, and it is, I still think it is kind of interesting they announced this and not save it for E3, but with the whole argument about E3 being irrelevant and all that stuff, obviously there are some developers that are going a different direction on this though. But nevertheless, maybe we'll hear more about it at E3 this year. Maybe they'll show off some more information and all that stuff. So overall, interesting announcement, to be exact. Even though I'm not a big Pokemon fan, I will certainly keep an eye out for these two titles. Indeed, though, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what more information comes out. Like I said, maybe E3 will hear more about it. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about Bethesda announcing a new Fallout game called Fallout 76. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of our video, and for this one we're going to be talking about Bethesda and the recent announcement of Fallout 76. Now, earlier this week, Bethesda did a Twitch stream where they did a little bit of a tease of a lot of some of the people doing some stuff in the background. They had, you know, a TV up there that had the famous Fallout Please Stand By with the Pipe Boy bobblehead, and then there were people doing some weird things, such as someone wearing one of the pipe boy thing on their wrist, walking to the screen. I think one of the owners of Bethesda pouring like a Nuka-Cola, then pouring a little bit of what looks like some alcohol in it as well, to someone wearing like a mask, to doing just some odd and absurd thing. And I will give credit to the fact that was kind of interesting as they sort of like build up hype for their announcement. So I will give them credit for pulling that off. And then came the official announcement of Fallout 76, though. Now, there has been some back and forth on exactly what that game is, and according to several articles, though, according to what GameSpot is pointing it out, is pointing out who is developing the game. According to what they're saying, Bethesda Game Studios, the Maryland-based developer responsible for the Elder Scrolls series in both Fallout 3 and 4, is at work on the game. It's possible other Bethesda studios are also working on the project, but Bethesda Studio is the only one confirmed in the extremely brief fact that she shared with the press. Obsidian, developers of the beloved Fallout New Vegas, has previously suggested it isn't involved with what Bethesda is teasing. In terms of what kind of game it is, there's been reports that Fallout 76 might be a much different sort of game, according to a report from Kotaku, which says the game will have an online survival element inspired by the likes of Rust. Official Bethesda hasn't said anything to suggest this is the case, but we'll know once more E3 rolls around. According to Game Radar, if I could see if I could find it, is there any Fallout 76 gameplay? And according to them, they're saying not yet, although with E3 nearly here, expect that to change soon. Put the Bethesda E3 conference in your calendar if you want to see the first Fallout 76. On June 10th, 2018 at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Whatever Fallout 76 gameplay is, we expect it to be very revealing, especially with the online and multiplayer rumor floating around, as this is almost certainly not a main series Fallout game like I think Fallout New Vegas was. I think that was like a side story in a way. Game, I suspect, probably see something smaller in scales, fairly completed and ready to go. So as far as we know, outside of the trailer and that little teaser that they did, we don't know a whole lot, to be exact. There's been some back and forth. There are claims that it was a multiplayer game. Others are saying not necessarily like that there will still be, I think, some form of online component to it. So we don't have a whole lot of details, though, about it. Personally, I am very interested to see what exactly Fallout 76 is, though. I remember playing Fallout 4, and I thought that was a fun game indeed. Of course, that was more on the single-player side of things, so it will be interesting to see if there's any single-player component to Fallout 76, because the online part does kind of worry me a little bit, though, especially when you see games that are like always online, like the way games like Destiny 2 or the first Titanfall were. So I'm not a huge fan if it becomes an always online game, but we'll have to wait and see about that. As far as platforms go, I think the most obvious one are going to be PC and Steam, PS4 and Xbox One. Alright, as far as if a Switch version is going to happen, though, while it is certainly possible that a Switch version could happen, I wouldn't be surprised if they say currently there's no plans for a Switch version at this time or anything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bethesda has claimed that they have been supportive of the Nintendo Switch, as with the release of Skyrim and Doom and the upcoming Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. And personally, I would be open if they would bring Fallout 3 and 4. I mean, there are some rumors about a Fallout 3 Anniversary Edition, considering this is the 10-year anniversary since Fallout 3 comes out. So it will be very interesting to see if it does come to the Switch or not. So we'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, I'm leaning more towards the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 of it to be released. So overall, very interesting that we're getting a new Fallout game this year. A little curious to see what the gameplay is and what it's all about. Do have some concerns about the online part, but E3 is just around the corner. We'll have to wait and see what Bethesda shows us at E3. Maybe it will answer some questions on what it is and all that. And personally, if they announce a Fallout 3 Anniversary Edition, I would be down with that, though. Although I would prefer if they announce, at least this is from my opinion, I would prefer if they announce Fallout 4 for the Nintendo Switch. But we'll have to wait and see what E3 has in store for us. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to supposedly another leak has come out about basically what Nintendo could be showing at E3 this year. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with the fourth and final part of our My Two Cent video, and for this one we're going to be talking about another leak rumor about what Nintendo might be showing at E3. Now, there have been numerous leaks that have come out, and for the most part, a lot of these leaks have proven to be false to a certain degree. However, a lot of people are looking back at some of these leaks, though, including one recently where the so-called leak about what they will be showing at E3, such as, or at their E3 presentation, like Super Smash Bros. For the Switch, Punch-Out, Become the Champion, Metroid Prime Renegade, Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, Fire Emblem Memories, Fallout 3 Anniversary, Yoshi's Flipping Island, though, it's kind of an interesting name. What they call it, Yoshi Flipping Sweet Island or something, but whatever. The Pokemon games, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Evo, F-Zero XX, Fortnite, and Star Fox Lilac System. This sort of got a lot of people's attention. People sort of dismissed it at first, but now there's been some reports, at least according to VGR, pointing out that Reddit user who leaked the so-called Nintendo E3 2018 list also predicted the Fallout 76, so a lot of people are taking a look at that. But now, also, not only that, a new list has sort of popped out, and this has sort of popped up on 4chan, and again, grain of salt has to be taken because we don't know if this is true or not. Like anything, it could be Photoshop or made up. But it could, but if what the person who leaked about Fallout 76, this could be true. I'm not saying it is, but it could be. But according to this rumor, it says that this was supposedly a leaked material that supposedly shows the banner that the company has requested to be printed for their demo station. So basically, what's going to be playable at E3. And according to what this sheet is showing, if this is what we're going with, we have Dragon Ball Z Fighter, Fortnite, Monster Hunter Generation Ultimate, FIFA 19, Killer Queen Black, Starlink Battle for Atlas, Paladins, Paladins, Overcooked 2, and Mario Tennis Ace. And what makes this even more interesting is that Kotaku has been backing up their leak document, writing Fortnite is coming to Switch according to a leak E3 document that we believe is real, as well as sources speaking to Kotaku, though. It's not clear whether this apparent port will include Fortnite's free battle mode, its player versus zombies, save the world mode, or both. And even Destructoid recently pointed out that they've heard about this rumor as well, and they said, quote, we've confident this rumor is accurate. During the E3 scheduling process, we received embargoes confirming of other titles on this list. Thus, we include to believe the veracity of this leak. And if you include to believe us, here's the takeaway. The Switch is getting some more big names, and Fortnite is the only game that's keep growing. Now, assuming this list is true, it will be interesting to see if basically this is what they're showing in terms of playable demos at E3, or if there's more that they're going to show. But let's say for argument's sake it's true. If it is true though, I would say kind of interesting though. I know there have been a lot of people asking for Dragon Ball Fighter Z to come to if I'm saying the name correctly, yeah, Dragon Ball Fighter Z coming to the Nintendo Switch. There are a lot of people that have asked for that one. Fortnite and Paladins, if I'm saying the name correctly though, Paladins, that one is kind of interesting because if correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe those two are free to play or multiplayer only games. So I'm a little curious to see how that's going to work on a system like the Nintendo Switch, considering that the Switch, is, a console handheld hybrid and a portable console, and how that's going to work when you're not in like a Wi-Fi area, to be exact. So those two are probably the most interesting one on there, the Fortnite and Paladin game. So it will be very interesting to see if this report turns out to be true. The fact that EA is still bringing us FIFA 19 is still amazing, and there's been reports that it's not using the Frostbite engine, but so far an improvement of the custom build engine, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, kind of mixed, assuming this list is correct, kind of mix of what they're going to show at their E3 demo, or what is going to be playable at E3, but we'll have to wait and see what comes out of E3, what Nintendo is going to show at E3 this year. So overall, it's an interesting kind of list, but like everything, it has to be taken with a grain of salt. We just don't know if it's true or not. So we'll have to wait and see once Nintendo holds their E3 conference. Hopefully it's good this year though. It is going to be tough considering the fact that you don't have like Mario Odyssey or like Breath of the Wild like you did. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Nintendo plays their card this year at this year's E3. So, but overall, I am interested to see how Fortnite's going to work on the Nintendo Switch. Overcooked 2, that's going to be interesting. Mario Tennis Ace. So we'll have to wait and see. But again, it's an interesting leak, but ultimately, we won't find out until E3 happens to know for certain if any of these leaks turn out to be true, or if they end up being false in the end. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinions, but what are yours? What are your thoughts about Road Redemption coming to the Nintendo Switch? Are you happy that they announced they're bringing it to the Switch? Are you looking forward to try the game out? Do you think it will play well? Do you think it's not going to play well? Was it worth backing this game on Kickstarter when it was announced, to be exact? Did you enjoy the game when it was released on Steam and PC and Mac? Or did you hate the game or anything like that? And what are your thoughts about the announcement of the Pokemon games coming to the Nintendo Switch? Are these the Pokemon games you are looking for? Are you excited that they announced this? Are you disappointed? Do you have some concerns about it? And what are your thoughts about the announcement of Fallout 76? Like with Pokemon though, are you excited about this upcoming game, Fallout 76? Are you disappointed with the announcement? Do you think it's going to be okay? Do you think the game's going to be alright? Do you have some concerns about it? And finally, last but not least, the other leak about that of what Nintendo could be having at their E3 booth, particularly with games like Fortnite. Do you think this leak is accurate? Do you think it's true? Or do you think, like any other leak, most likely it's fake and all that stuff? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. I wish you hit that like button, and I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!